Hello, this is Mark Satterfield, and welcome to the Velvet Rope Playbook. Tonight's chapter, the Rolex Playbook, how prestige gets built one silent signal at a time. In the world of luxury, there are loud brands, and then there's Rolex. No flash sales, no big celebrity ambassador campaigns, no discounts, no urgency, no DMs with coupon codes. And yet, year after year, Rolex outsells every other luxury watchmaker, commands multi-year waitlists, and remains the default symbol of arrival. They don't market watches, they market status without saying a word. And if you're selling any kind of high-end service to the wealthy, the powerful, or the quietly influential, there's a lot to be learned from the Rolex Playbook. Because what Rolex has mastered isn't product marketing, it's perception engineering. They control every aspect of how their brand is experienced, from who gets to buy, to how long you'll wait, to what story your wrist tells when you finally wear it. And that same control of perception, scarcity, and access is what you need to attract the clients everyone wants, but few can reach. That's exactly what I teach at getwealthyclients.com. And if you want to sell to the affluent without begging for attention or watering down your services, that's where you begin. Go to getwealthyclients.com. Now, let's get into how Rolex really does it. You probably heard the story. You walk into a Rolex dealer, you're ready to buy, and the sales associate gives you a polite version of, "That's not how this works." They don't just sell you a watch, they assess you. Are you a long-term client? Are you aligned with the brand's profile? Are you going to respect the piece or flip it in the gray market? Suddenly, you're not a buyer anymore. You're the applicant. That role reversal, that's what prestige is built. It's the same strategy I once saw a consultant named Owen Vega use unintentionally at first. Owen worked in ultra-high net worth estate strategy, good reputation, clean operation. But for years he was stuck taking whatever business came in the door. Referrals from accountants, lawyers, anyone who needed a smart guy to sort out their post-liquidity mess. The work was fine, but the clients, not the type who respected boundaries or stayed very long. That changed after he studied how brands like Rolex handle demand. Instead of taking meetings with anyone who asked, Owen began qualifying heavily. No discovery calls, no free audits. And once a client engaged, they had to commit to a full scope engagement, no hourly handholding. He introduced a subtle waiting list. He removed pricing from his website. He started saying, "I'm full," more often than "let's talk." The result? In under a year, his revenue doubled, and the quality of his client base transformed. Because once he signaled he wasn't for everyone, the right people leaned in. That's the Rolex effect. And it only works when three things are true. One, you stand for something beyond the product. Rolex doesn't just stand for watches. They stand for timelessness, precision, legacy. If you're a professional services provider, what do you stand for? It's not enough to be great at what you do. You need a brand that communicates values instantly, without explanation. Two, you control the narrative through scarcity. Rolex limits production, not because they can't make more watches, but because they know the feeling of rarity is worth more than volume. How are you limiting access? Do clients feel like working with you is an opportunity or a convenience? If it's the latter, you're losing positioning every time you speak. 3. You reward loyalty quietly. One of the secrets behind Rolex's cult-like customer base is how they treat return buyers. First-time buyer? You'll wait. Long-time client with history? You might get a quiet call when the Daytona you mentioned just happened to come in. That kind of insider access doesn't get advertised. It gets remembered. You can replicate that too, through surprise upgrades, personal outreach, and the kind of behind-the-scenes attention that makes affluent clients feel like they're on the inside. There's a woman I know, Simone Barr, an interior designer in Aspen. Her work, it's not on Instagram. She doesn't do before and after shots. She's known entirely through word of mouth. But every client she works with has the same story. Once you're in, you're in. She's impossible to reach directly unless you're introduced. But if you make it into her client circle, she takes care of you if you are like family. The result? She doesn't advertise and hasn't had an opening in over 18 months. That's not luck. That's brand control Rolex style. And if you want to learn how to build this kind of positioning for yourself to attract the kinds of clients who respect your value, wait for access, and pay without hesitation, start at getwealthyclients.com. What you'll find there are frameworks for engineering demand, signaling trust, and packaging your brand so it speaks to the affluent without ever chasing. That's getwealthyclients.com. Final thought. Rolex doesn't sell watches. They sell what the watch says about you. And that's what your business should be doing too. When someone works with you, what does it signal? That they're discerning, well-connected, serious, elite, or that you were available? That's the difference. That's the opportunity. And once you build your own version of the Rolex halo, everything changes. This is Mark Satterfield. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.